Hey, friends. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day wherever you are tuning in from. My name is Kenzie. Welcome to or welcome back to Willow Creek Homestead. So, in today's video, we are going to be canning up some corn and green beans together. And if I told you I had never canned either one of these things, would you believe me? Because this is the first time I have canned either one of them. Usually, I freeze all of my corn and my fresh green beans. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and give this a try this season. And both of them turned out incredible. So, this is just some old footage and canning projects that I did at the old house. I'm trying to sort through these and get you guys up to speed on everything that I did during my break. So, first and foremost, to do the green beans, it's very, very simple. Just make sure that you are washing these very, very good. Mine were extremely dirty and they had like a fuzzy coating on them, which makes it a little bit difficult to clean, but I just went ahead and snipped all of the ends off, made sure they were really, really clean. And then I am canning these in pint jars and adding about a teaspoon or so of salt. And remember, that is just for flavor, that is not for preservation at all. That just gives us some salty flavor in all of the liquid. So after you get that done, if you would like to add the salt, you can go ahead and start filling up your jars. And another thing that I want to mention about this is you really, really need to pack these. I was actually surprised at how many green beans I could get in a jar, and every single time that I thought I was done, I was not done. So make sure you're packing these in really, really tight and leaving 1 inch headspace. And for it being my first time trying this, you guys, I was actually pleasantly surprised by the taste, which is to be expected because these aren't in a tin can. But I'm trying to rotate through all of my canned vegetables and get to the point where I am just using my home canned stuff. So I still had a couple of cans of green beans, like in the tin cans, to compare these two. And the flavor profile is way, way different. These taste much, much fresher, which is really, really nice whenever you go to use them in a variety of different things. But basically, after I get all of the jars situated and filled up, I am just going to go ahead and add water to the top of these to 1 inch of headspace. Now, if you wanted to go for like a flavor profile or flavored green beans, feel free to use broth or whatever other liquid you would like to. But for the first time, I'm just using water. So I'm going ahead and getting these all filled up. And then we are going to start debubbling them. And make sure you debubble them really, really good. There is a lot of nooks and crannies in your green beans and things. And this did take me a little bit of time to go back and make sure that all of the bubbles were out and everything was situated like in the way that I wanted it to be before I canned. So then I also went back and fixed all of the head spacing. That happens a lot anytime you go to debubble things. Oftentimes the water levels will drop. So just make sure that you are going back and fixing that. And then I am just getting all of my lids placed on my jars. I did not need to wipe down the rims because this was just water, but feel free to if you would like. But then basically we're just getting our rings placed on fingertip tight, and then we are going to go ahead and get all of our jars loaded up into the canner. And I believe the pints processed for 20 minutes each. I also always really like to point out that the Presto canners come with a really, really nifty book. After I get done filling this up with water, you'll see this is just something that I always refer back to. No matter how many times I've done something, no matter if I'm new to it, whatever the case may be, the manual that comes with your pressure canner is an absolute lifesaver. And I will have all of the canning times and pressures and things like that down below as always for you guys. But this is actually the day after I let all of my jars sit for 24 hours. And now I'm just going ahead and getting all of these rings off. I do not store my jars with the rings on. I don't recommend you do that either. But after I get all of those off, I just go ahead and put the month and the year. And then these are all ready for the pantry shelf. And like I said, I was super, super happy to have them. And the taste was absolutely incredible. So now we are moving on to pressure canning sweet corn. And this little scrubber is something that I keep year to year to use to scrub my corn. If you have ever scrubbed it and you feel like the little silts do not come off of it, I promise get you one of these because it works absolutely amazing. It gets down in all of the cracks and crevices and it leaves the cobs incredibly, incredibly clean. So I just wanted to leave that in here so I could go over it really quickly. And again, canning the sweet corn, you guys, it absolutely blew my expectations out of the water. It tastes like fresh sweet corn in a jar. It's really, really good. If you've never tried it, I highly recommend. And then I also went ahead and picked up one of these nifty little corn peelers. I've seen a lot of people using these, but I had never tried it out, and it actually does work really, really good. So I will list the one that I found on Amazon down below if you are interested in looking at it and possibly giving it a try for yourself. It definitely sped up the prep time for me tremendously because usually I just cut them off the cob with a knife, like in a roasting pan. But that tends to take a really, really long time, especially when you're doing huge batches like I do. So I was really, really happy that I was able to find this tool. And that's basically the gist of all of the prep for the corn that we're going to be doing. It's just rinsing everything off, cutting off all of the bad spots, and then getting it off the cob. And that's kind of the bummer about processing corn is that part takes the longest. But once all of that is done, the rest of this flies by and is really, really easy. So again, we're just adding salt to our jars. You could flavor this in any way that you wanted since we're pressure canning it. Remember that you can play around with the seasonings much more than you can whenever you are water bath canning. But we are also leaving 1 inch headspace on all of this. So I'm just going to go ahead and get all of my jars filled up. And I ended up doing more rounds of corn than is in this video. I actually canned a lot. I didn't even freeze any this year, which is pretty surprising because usually, like I said, I always freeze it, but that just goes to show that like this is really, really good. And I'm okay with having it in a jar versus freezing it because the taste is basically the same. So super, super happy with that outcome. I'm also going through this batch and just picking out any little silts that might be left behind. It won't hurt anything if you leave it in the jar, but I do try to go back and get them out if I can. But then the rest of the steps is just the same as the green beans. We're going to leave 1 inch of headspace and fill this up with water. You're going to make sure that you debubble these really, really good once again because of the nooks and crannies and all of that good jazz. Something else I wanted to mention while I was thinking about it is I have heard people put a slice of tomato on the tops of their jars of corn to kind of make them less, I guess you could say like can flavor, which doesn't make much sense to me, I guess, because these are in glass. I haven't personally noticed that. But if you are worried that your canned corn might have kind of like a tang or something to it after time, maybe try the slice of tomato over top because I've heard other people say that that helps it. I just personally haven't noticed it. But here, all of these are coming out of the canner, and I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to do a Q&A video in next week's video, so watch out for that, and I will see you guys in the next one.